Hey, what's up everybody? This is Brick501 and today I want to go over a bunch of the new information that has been added to the official Wonderlands website because they have added a FAQ and there is a good bit of information on the game in this FAQ. So I want to go over the more interesting answers. So first off, an unpredictable fantasy world. Tiny Tina is your disorderly guide through an extraordinary tabletop realm where rules rarely apply. Explore a vast overworld spanning majestic cities, dank mushroom forests, foreboding fortresses, and more. So this essentially just tells us what some of the environments we're going to be in is like. So we're going to be in big cities, mushroom forests, big fortresses, and more. So a lot of the areas and elements you would expect in a fantasy game. Next up, we have guns, spells, and more. Blast baddies with powerful guns and devastating spells in frenetic first-person battles. Vanquish legions of enemies including smack-talking skeletons, land-roaming sharks, and colossal bosses. Then delve deeper into dangerous dungeons for a shot at epic loot. Now I could be reading too much into this, but there's a possibility that they are talking about some of the endgame content in this. So first off, we get to hear what some of the enemies will be like. Smack-talking skeletons, land-roaming sharks, which is pretty creative, and colossal bosses also interest me because I'm wondering if they're going to have a more emphasis on massive big bosses, and I'm wondering if this is also possibly hinting at there being more raid bosses and more single style raid bosses like the older games have, which Borderlands 3 didn't have until a year after the game came out. And then the most interesting part is they split it up into then delve deeper into dangerous dungeons for a shot at epic loot. And what this sounds like to me is that these dungeons are probably going to be the end game content because of how they're kind of splitting it up when talking about it. And that does make sense because they have said in this game that there will be end game content on release, which most other Borderlands really haven't talked about, especially on release of the game. So there's a good possibility that these dungeons are going to be that end game content. So next up, we have personalize your hero. Create the perfect hero with a deep customization, including a multi-class system that lets you mix and match 6 unique character skill trees, all with their own awesome abilities. Level up, refine your build, expand your arsenal, and become the ultimate adventurer. So the main new information here is how many skill trees there are going to be, because we knew this would be a multi-classing system in the game, clearly inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, but this tells us how many specific skill trees there will be, and there will be 6. And I have heard a good amount of people talk about this being not a lot, because if you compare it to Borderlands 3 on launch, there was 12 total, so this is only going to be half. But you also have to realize that there's no vault hunters, there's no specific name characters, you're just creating your own character, and you have access to all 6 of these at all times, it seems like. Now, I'm not certain if this would be a system where you just have all 6 trees laid out and you can just put points into them whenever you want, or if you're going to have to kind of slot different skill trees in when you want to use them. So maybe you'll have 3 slots and you slot 3 of the 6 in. I'm not exactly certain on how that would work. It most likely seems like to me that you would just have access to all 6 and then you can put points into whichever ones you want whenever you want. And we're also not certain if these are going to be really similar to the other Borderlands games. Like it's going to be really similar trees to how they laid out, say, Borderlands 3 skill trees. I would think that to fit the fantasy RPG element a little more, they might have some different style of skill trees. And this is just a theory, but I would expect that you would have more skill points than something like Borderlands 3 or the other Borderlands games on launch because you have access to so many more skill trees, and they would probably want you mixing and matching a little bit more. So I'd assume the skill trees will probably be a little bit bigger and you'll have more skill points overall to put into these skill trees. Now there is also a ton of information on here on all the different cosmetics and rewards you get for pre-ordering the game and getting higher editions of the game, but there's a ton of those, so I don't want to go over these in this video. I may go over all the cosmetics in a separate video, but I did want to go over some of the information on what the different cosmetics actually are. So what are armor presets and armor themes? Armor themes are cosmetics that let you customize the look of your equipment in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. They can be applied to any piece of armor you've collected, letting you fine-tune the details of your character for that perfect look. Armor presets apply a combination of armor themes to create a set look for your character. character. They do not affect gameplay. So first off, again, they are saying here that we will be having armor as a gearing up piece in the game, like we've talked about before. So you'll most likely have a full armor set, which will actually add a lot of customization to the game. I'm curious to how the statting and effects are going to be like when we have weapons like normal Borderlands games. We have grenades replaced with spells, and then we have a full armor set to also get effects and stats on. It could be pretty ridiculous, but armor themes seem to be a full cosmetic set that you just apply to yourself, and you have that full completed set. And then armor presets are a combination of these armor themes. So most likely the armor presets, you're just going to be able to go armor piece by armor piece and make it look how you want out of all the different armor theme sets you have. So from hearing this, it sounds like it's going to be more like something like a World of Warcraft transmog system, where you can transmog every different piece you want with whatever you want, or you can go and if you have the full armor theme set, you can just put the set on and just use that full armor set that was already built, or mix and match whatever you want. Then what are face presets and makeup packs? You get to create your own Fate Maker hero in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with face presets and makeup cosmetic options to give your character a distinct look. They do not affect gameplay. So what it's seeming like in this is that you're not going to have like a bunch of sliders to customize your face or something like that. There will most likely be just a bunch of different face presets. You can probably go unlock more and stuff like that will be your face customization for the game. And then you'll also be able to get makeup cosmetic options, which you'll be able to add different things to your face. I assume different things like tattoos, different makeup, different colors to your face, all that type of stuff. And then you would apply those to the face preset that you're currently using. And then next we have what is a banner set. As part of your hero customization, you also get to create your own cosmetic banner. It is displayed in the main hub and also shows up whenever you perform an emote. Banner sets give you an additional ways to customize your personal banner and do not affect gameplay. So there's a few possible things from this that may be in the game. So first off, you have your banner set that you just get to customize your own banner. It shows up in the main hub. You see when you perform an emote, and it just gives you another way to customize your character. Now, something to note that they said in here is the main hub. Now, I'm wondering if they are going to have a hub that allows for more players to be in it, kind of something like Destiny or some other looter shooter MMO light games, where you can't go out and play in combat with this many players, but say you go to a hub and maybe there's 24 players total in that hub. So it feels like there's a bunch of other players and that's like a social hub. It's either that or they're just calling it the main hub, and that's going to be like your sanctuary for this game, and it'll show up in there and it'll just be your normal home base like Sanctuary has been. And then next we have what is a hero statue material. A statue of your hero can appear in the main hub, and hero statue material cosmetics let you change its overall look. This does not affect gameplay. And this is another one of the reasons that I think it's a possibility that them mentioning the hub could mean that we'll have a hub that will allow more players to be in there, so we can see more players, see all their customizations and stuff like that. Because now you also have this hero statue that you can also customize in there. And I think it would make sense that since you have all these customizations that show up in the hub, that they would allow more players that you're not partied with to be in these hub areas, so you can all see each other's banners and statues and armor and stuff like that. And it fits pretty well into a fantasy game like this. So I'm curious to see if that does end up being the case. So that's pretty much all I want to go over for this new information for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I may be reading too much into some of this information, but the game is really excited. Like I've said before, I'm much more excited for this game than I was for Borderlands 3. So subscribe if you want to see more Tiny Tina's Wonderlands or other videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about all of this information, and thanks for watching.